If you have questions, concerns, and are just lost when it comes to planning for retirement, meet Steve Hoyle and Derrick Caldwell of the Hoyle Financial Group. So again, back to the market, whatever it's doing really well, it seems that we always see this story pop up with the headline of the number of 401k millionaires is at an all-time high. But we also have to remember something. That number that you see on your 401k, newsflash, folks, it's not all of yours. So we got to get real here about the number after taxes, right? You could probably take, maybe 30% off the top there. Derrick, let's talk about the impact of taxes on retirees. And then most importantly, what everyone wants to know is, what can I do to have little to no damage from taxes?
Taxes, the federal government is your profit-sharing partner right there. And generally a good rule of thumb, 20 to 30% is something depending on your income that is going to come off of that 401k. And I'll tell everybody, too, if you become a millionaire, hey, fantastic. You've done a great job there. But that is a very small piece of the pie. In our education classes, people ask all the time, hey, Derrick, what's the magic number? And there is none. When we factor in taxes and Medicare and all these different factors there, and it really comes down to a lot to your lifestyle. How much are you going to spend? I have people that, hey, $1 million is more than they will ever need. And I have people that have $1 million, and man, that's about 10 years, and you're out of money. Lifestyle has a big part of that. How high on the hog do you want to live? What's that look like? But also, when we talk about taxes, it's a big part of that is going to be the federal government taking that out. So Roth IRAs, there is a abundance of employers now in 401k plans that allow you to create a Roth within that too, that have drastically higher limits than what you can do in a Roth IRA. So a Roth IRA standard, most people could do $7,500 to $8,600, depending on your age and everything. And that's all you can contribute once a year. But your Roth 401ks within that, you can contribute up to about $28,000 a year. So you want to start looking at that and look at the taxation of your 401k, of your other assets, your IRAs and everything. Because if you're 100% pre-tax, and I'll tell you guys, most people are. When they come to me, very few people have Roths and Roth IRAs and 401ks and everything, or even non-qualified like brokerage accounts, things like that. Most of them are all pre-tax. So you have to know going into that depending on income and everything, you could be taxed up to 33% on that. So you want to know too, what's your taxation? Do I want to start a Roth IRA? Do I want to start contributing different? Do I want to open a brokerage account, after-tax brokerage account? Things like that are things that you could do right now that could drastically affect your retirement and how you withdraw money too. If you have a Roth or a 401k, pre-tax, all that stuff, when we look at that stuff for you, it's going to be very paramount of where you take money from. Most people are going to take some sort of monthly income off of their retirement assets to supplement their Social Security, or if they have a pension, things like that. Well, where you take it from is very important. When they change tax brackets every year and how you're taxed, you have to look at that. And that's all these things. When I say you have to do that, you need to partner with somebody like us that will do that for you. Because that is something, hey, everybody on that's listening right now, you're all fantastic at what y'all do for a living. I wouldn't expect you to know how to do your job and my job. That's why you partner with somebody that can handle this stuff for you. But the Medicare continues to go up, and guys, you could get taxed up to, or not taxed, but you can get a Medicare up to $500 a month. Did y'all know that?
Wow, no.
That's how much your Medicare premiums can go up to, and it's even a little bit over that right now. And so depending on your income, the last years of retirement is how they base your Medicare premium on. So if you're a high income earner, that's going to be something you want to plan for. So that's a big push for like HSAs. If y'all have options to those, that's medical plans that generally employers, or you can even open one yourself, where you can shovel pre-tax money, and then for Medicare premiums and medical costs later on, that you could take it out and there's no taxes on it. So that's kind of a big thing that's really gaining steam for you to build in retirement, because medical is such a big part of our retirement cost. If we could shovel away money right now, it's kind of becoming like the new Roth. It's a tax-free advantage that we can use and create one for you and to help with medical costs later on. And we use that a lot of times if you're retiring before Medicare age to pay medical premiums because you're going to have insurance during these times, right? We're 60s. Let's be honest. You're going to need that. So if you have a Medicare gap and say you're retiring at 62 or 63 and you need a couple years of medical coverage, that is a great way to save, put money aside to handle that on top of paying your Medicare premiums when you do turn 65. And if y'all need help with looking at your sequence of withdrawals, the best way to take out money, where to take it from. And if you need help with how to pay those Medicare premiums and where it's going to come from, if you need like diversification in your portfolio, let's look at Roth and everything. If any of these things trigger you right now, give us a call, because now is the time to do something about it. All of these things I'm mentioning are stuff, if we get it set up today, that it'll help you later on down the road. You don't want to do any of this stuff when you're right at retirement. It's not the proper way to do it, and you're not going to reap any benefit from these items I'm just describing to you. So do it today when you have time to effectively use these.
Now, real quick, Derrick, a famous line that you share here all the time on the show, and it really applies to us, saying, look, be proactive. Now's the time to do it. You always say, give me 2 hours or give your boss 2 more years. Tell me more about that.
When I say that, I really mean it, in the sense that I've seen people that wait to the last minute and they have everything in place. We make changes there. We set up everything. And I'm like, you tell me that you hated your job and you're finally done and everything. Why didn't you come to me sooner? And it's always, well, I just put it off and I put it off. I was too busy, things like that. I'm like, when I look at this, we could have done this 2 or 3 years earlier. I hate giving that news, because I'd rather give it proactively, right? And say, hey, I know you said you're going to work to 66, but what if we could do 64? Would that make you happy? That's what we want to hear. I find very few people just that are like, you know what, Derrick, I know I can retire and everything's set up great, but I'm going to give it another 3 or 4 years because I love my job that much. Hey, more power to you. If you have that, fantastic. But most of the time, guys, y'all been working 40, 50 years. If I can give you a couple years back where you can spend it with family and friends and hobbies and gardening, whatever it may be, just give me a couple hours of your time, because that's all I need to put a good plan in place for you where you can live the retirement that you've always wanted. And quite frankly, you can tell your boss to kick rocks.
That's right.
A lot of times that's the best feeling I get too, when I see somebody walk out of this office and they're like, you know what, man, I can't wait to leave my job and get that next stage of life started right away.
We're about to jump right into a few things here, and most importantly, how to create that reliable monthly paycheck in retirement. But first, Derrick, you have a special shout out to one of our listeners.
Yeah, absolutely. Monty Johnson, buddy. I got to tell you, this is a client of ours for a long time. Fantastic. He just retired here in Amarillo, Texas, and we went to his retirement party this past weekend, and I mean, grin from ear to ear, yeah, it's fantastic to see. And honestly, I love being invited to those things, because that really shows how much they appreciate our help and everything, and just seeing them and having that enjoyment, seeing their family, talking to them and everything. And it's great to see it, just you launch off into your next career, that being golf, by the way. So Monty is a avid golfer and goes to Tascosa Country Club over there, the golf course here at Amarillo. And he's probably golfing as we speak, even if it's 40 degrees. The man's an animal. And just want to say congratulations to you, Monty.
As you are nearing retirement, you might look at your nice 401k balance and say, all right, well, it looks really good, but now what? Well, the next step is critical. Here's financial author Jean Chatzky on Morningstar.
We did a great job at just banging the drum about the fact that people needed to max out, to pay themselves first, to contribute to their retirement account. What we did not do, what we're just starting to do, is to help people understand that they now have to reverse engineer the entire thing. They've got to take the money that they've accumulated and they've got to figure out how to turn it into a stream of income that's going to last as long as they do.
And I know you guys get that question a lot. Usually it goes, am I going to be okay? Am I going to run out of money? And is my money going to last as long as I need it to? So, Derrick, how do you help clients turn those retirement accounts, much like a 401k, into a reliable monthly paycheck, literally getting paid to be retired?
Very important, because that's sometimes people's biggest worries. Okay, so now what? I put this money in the 401k like I was told and everything, and what happens next? A lot of people don't even know they could take money from it. They're just like, can I? And it's like, well, you're retired. Yeah, let's get rolling for this. But having an income plan is very, very important before you retire. Knowing where your money comes from, how it's taxed, like we mentioned previously on the show, but also having either guaranteed income sources or knowing how much you can withdraw off of your assets and have a reasonable expectation of your funds lasting and everything, right? That's what people are looking for. And when it comes down to having reliable monthly paychecks, if you're lucky enough to have a pension, hey, fantastic, guys. But most of the time, it is Social Security. That's our reliable, hey, I know I'm going to get that every month. And the rest of your money comes from your investments. So how are your investments taxed? How much are you actually going to get off of that a month? And where does it come from? How much your expenses are each month, right? How much income do you need in retirement? That is a question that I get I ask that all the time in our first meeting when we sit down. And 90% of the time, people don't know. It's you're empty nesters, and you have enough income right now to live the way you want to live, but you never really thought about, A, how much money do I have to have? Then also, how much money do I want to have? And then, can my retirement assets produce that? There's things like annuities. Your fixed index annuities have guaranteed income sources. We can take your money, that in retirement, and we can turn it into what I kind of call like your own little pension. You can guarantee that for you and your wife or you and your spouse's whole entire life. And that is something that is a big part of portfolios these days. And those days of, hey, you could take out 4% and hope and pray, it doesn't need to be that way. There's a lot of even dividend portfolios and things that we have that can create good income for you. And you need to be aware of that. And you need to plan for that and have your dedicated income sources ready to go when you retire. And generally, we require everybody 30 to 90 days before retirement date. Let's come in. Let's do what we need to do paperwork-wise and everything. Let's get your income stream flowing before that. Because I'll tell you, people that have retired and then came and see me, what happens is it's that, hey, this is the first or second month and I've gotten no money in my accounts. It is scary. That is the biggest thing retirees talk about is, hey, I don't have any money coming in and I'm just living off my savings account, which is depleting. So no, let's get those income sources set up. But a lot of things like your annuities, they get stronger with time. So if you're in that red zone, 3 to 5 years away from retirement, you can have withdrawal rates up to 10, 12% on annuities. They guarantee that kind of income off of the asset that you put into them. So it is a very strong way of getting more income than what you can do off traditional means, such as the market itself. So that's a big part of what you can do, as well as just set up different buckets of money for different situations, whether you need cars later on down the road, we need a plan for 529 plans for grandkids. All these different things is we got to really look at how much money that you're really going to have in retirement. And then you could tell me, hey, Derrick, that's fantastic. Hey, I don't need any more. Get it rolling. Or you could say, hey, Derrick, that's not enough for me to live the way I want to live. And then, hey, this is what we're going to do, Mr. Johnson. We're going to make these changes to get you where you want to live. In retirement, it's all about living that retirement dream. Nobody wants to sit on the couch and eat beanie weenies and just be, hey, passing time. We want to travel. We want to do all those things. But having the income that you need in retirement and having the assets in place to provide that is going to be key in retirement. So call us, guys. This is what we do day in, day out. And it's something that you're never taught. Our education system is sorely lacking when it comes to finances. No one tells us anything but to put your money in your 401k. And you hit the nail on the head, just that when you retire, it's like, okay.
If you'd like to sit down with Steve and Derrick or a member of the Hoyle Financial Group, visit retiretexasstyle.com.
Investment advice offered through Hoyle Wealth Management, a Texas-registered investment advisor able to provide investment advice in states where it's registered, exempt, or excluded from registration. Content contained herein should not be construed as an offer or solicitation for investment advice or for the purchase or sale of any security, insurance, or other investment product. Investments involve the risk of loss, including possible loss of principal. Please consult with a qualified qualified financial, tax, accounting, or legal professional before implementing any ideas or strategies discussed here. Content provided is obtained from sources believed to be reliable but cannot be guaranteed as to its accuracy or completeness. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities offered through Steve Hoyle, Texas Insurance License 716036. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties. Steve Hoyle is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Steve Hoyle is licensed in your state, please call 806-371-9473.